Who plays Thursday night? Just let me know. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the NFL Picked Off. As you guys see, it's a two-man show tonight. Our fair brothers will not be able to make it tonight. James, what happened? What's going on? Did I miss something?
I was pointing at you. Hey, you
Oh,
the host.
yes. I'm your host tonight. It's my go around this time. Dom is enjoying the Detroit Pistons, who practically ain't playing anybody, who's not playing any of their starters today. And they take on, and he's at the game with his family and his loved ones. And then James, unfortunately, could not make it tonight. But we have Joseph, we have Jay, the Wizard versus the Rocket. If you know what's playing tonight, it's the Wizard versus the
The
Rocket.
Rockets.
So it's put it like this, guys. I don't think we're going to win. And I will sit there and say this. CJ McCollum has been going off, but I think Amen Thompson got something for him. But we'll see. But without further ado, of course, you got Jay, Sniper's Nest. I'm Joseph, Vecna, Don't Bother Me, Jenkins. Shout out to the Stranger Things. You get that reference, people. But let us begin with
All right.
actually, real quick, Jay, how you doing? I'm so sorry about that.
Oh no, I'm doing good, man. I actually, kind of a. I went to Subway earlier, man, and this is something you might need to try out. I had a cheesy. It was called a cheesy cheesesteak. It had like chopped steak and then like cheese sauce and garlic aioli and like those crunchy things, not like the fried onions, but like the just a little crisp, the crunch and
The red one?
no. No. They actually, it's strange, man. They kind of look like cornflakes, you know. What I'm saying? But no, it was really really good, man. I had some of that earlier, and then I was just killing time before the show.
Well, I'll tell you this much. If it's a Subway in Texas, I'll eat it. If it's a Subway up here, I ain't trying it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's not going down. Because they don't cook their meat long enough for me. I'm like, I might as well just give me some steakums and make it myself. But
May as well.
that does sound good. I'm going to have to check it out. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys know, let's dive in. We're going to have some fun tonight.
Thursday night
So
football.
let's begin. We have Thursday night football. We have the last place Jets facing the first place Patriots, who what's interesting about this Patriots team is that now they're on people's radar. Now they're being talked about. They're even being rumored to be a Super Bowl contender. So there's a little bit more pressure coming to this team, and they are facing an opponent that people are thinking they're going to dominate. Jay, I don't like double-digit spreads. What's up, Wyatt? Shout out to you, man. But tell me, what do you got? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, right off the bat with a double-digit spread, man, by 12.5. How about that? Because it's the Jets, it sounds kind of right to me, but I already know how you get down. It's like, hold on a minute, this is shady. I'm not going to touch this, because something might happen, and next thing you know, the Pats don't cover. Of course, I got the Patriots winning this game. I know the Jets was coming off of a needed, as if it was going to save their season, really. But hey, they got a win to kind of, what was it, the second, third win under Aaron Glenn. But the Patriots, listen, they are single-handedly trying to bring the 2000s back. When you look at the division leaders, the Colts are leading the South. The North is being led by Pittsburgh. We'll know how long that lasts. We'll get to that in just a minute.
Now.
Yep. The West is being led by Denver, and then the East is being led by the Patriots. There's no Manning in sight and no Brady in sight. Instead, there's a guy named Nix. There's another guy named Daniel Jones, Drake May, and then Old Man Rogers still hanging around. Patriots, oh man. I'm going to take Patriots 31-17. I'll actually take them to cover this time. The Patriots it's crazy because last week the Bills had an opponent they should have smashed, and the Patriots had an actually formidable opponent. And now this week it seems like it's in reverse. The Patriots got to win this game if you want to keep pace and be the new king of the East. I got Pats. Who you got, man?
I will say this. This is the type of game that the Patriots should dominate well. But I've seen this year that defenses that are pretty strong, especially up front, and can get to the quarterback, have kind of hung around with this team. So I'm not going to quite touch that 12-point spread. But I will say they'll win 31-21. I'll give them 10 points, but I won't take 13 because I just
All
think
right.
that the Jets, they're even with positivity is a long way. And if you have a quarterback that can at least make some plays with his legs, which is where you are right now, you never know. You have a chance to get some first downs, but you don't think you can get some first downs. You can make a game more competitive than you actually anticipated. Just keep the turnovers down. We got it.
All right.
So we got on to our next game. We have, you know what, Jay, take it away.
So, to those of you all who were unaware, who don't have me on social media, I went to the Jaguars Texans game in person last Sunday after my cousin had gotten tickets at the last minute, and it was an absolute blast. Of course, for 3 quarters, we were yelling at referees and yelling at our team to, kind of wake up. And after that last ETN touchdown in the third quarter, we actually saw people start leaving. When we stayed to the finish and we witnessed the biggest fourth quarter comeback in Texans history. Now we're traveling to Nashville to face the one-win Titans. The Texans could get to 500 next week, and you kind of figure, on our way out, like every game's kind of a must-win if we want to keep pace. There are people who've written us out of the division, so far. They're saying it's the Colts to lose. JJ, I know you're not high on the Colts, but I'm
Not
gonna
as high
take,
as other people.
yeah, who isn't here to defend himself? But I'm gonna take Houston in this one. Unknown if Stroud or Mills is going to start, but Mills has beaten the Titans before. I'm going to take Houston 28-13.
Oh, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even referencing him. I'm just looking at people in general. I think the Colts are a good team, but I do reiterate, I think they're like the 2000s, the Josh Freeman led Bucks that went 10-6 that one year, but I don't know. We'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a big win for the Houston Texans because that would have been down 2 games in division to the the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to have that game. And at the end of the day, we often talk about my team having a chance to gain ground. I'll be the first one to go out on the limb and saying there is a chance that the Colts could be caught by the Houston Texans. It won't be easy, and there's not a lot of margin for error, but I do think Houston is going in the right direction. Even though you came back and won, it's something to be said that you can still come back and do something. And see, that means the offense is working at some point. Because, the first 2 scores, blah, blah, blah. The last 2, they were playing the game. They weren't just sitting there just like, oh, prevent, no problem. They were literally kind of going at it, and they still came out on top. Davis Mills knows his game. I am going to take the Texans in this one. I will give them a 10-point victory on this one. I'll give them a 27-17. No, 27-14.
Okay, so you got them covering. All right, next game.
Next up,
Madrid game.
we have, oh my gosh, an international series. I'm not going to say this. This game, with the teams that they played to the expectations that they have for themselves, would have turned out to a fabulous, fabulous game. But we have 2 teams that are going in the same direction. It's just one's getting to that destination a little bit faster and much more than they wanted to sooner. Where I ask you this, is whoever wins this game, is it season saving? And who do you have?
Yes. Okay. Probably more so for the Dolphins than the Commanders because the Commanders are without their starter. But with the Dolphins, and shout out to John Shearer, he actually brought up a bit of a thing of interest here. Because should the Dolphins win this ball game, this is their next 3. Well, 4 actually. They've got the Saints on the 30th. They've got the they've got the Jets on December 7th. They got the Steelers on the 15th and the Bengals on the 21st. All winnable games.
Are they thinking that they can catch them?
Yeah, not catch the leader of the AFC East, but could they steal the last wild card spot? I'm talking about this is a late season, get it together type of deal. I'm going to take the Dolphins in this one. To be honest, I think they're going to crush them. I've got
this much. It better not come down to the Ravens and them looking for a wild card spot.
Yeah, no. Oh no! I totally get you. And you know what? I'm actually circling the Dolphins Steelers game because that may be the game where the Ravens take the lead in the division, if not sooner. But I'm going to circle that game. But I'm going to take the Dolphins in this one. I'm going to take the Dolphins 24-17.
So at some point, there's talent there. It's working. It's something has to get it. I don't think Washington's in a good space. I didn't see too much confidence in them. I haven't felt that way even when Jaden Daniels was playing. I am going to take the Dolphins to win this game. I'll take them to win by a field goal. I'll take them
Okay.
to win by a field goal. I'll take them to win 31-28. So I think
All
these
right.
teams are going to score.
All right.
Next up, I'm so used to chilling, I gotta realize it's my turn. Oh, lo and behold, we spoke them up. Here they are. An AFC North
Third
tilt
game.
between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, Pittsburgh wants revenge for this game because on Thursday night, 10 days into the team, Joe Flacco came and pretty much was just a Jamar Chase and T. Higgins show with a little Hicks and sprinkle of Chase Brown here and there. The Bengals are also a team that believes that they can get to a point where they can crawl out of this. So this is a big game for both squads. So, Jay, who do you think Joe Flacco has the magic to take down Pittsburgh again? Or is Pittsburgh going to tighten up and get this game back?
I think this is Pittsburgh's revenge game. Don't forget that. I mean, if you read in the caption there, at the end of the day, the Cincinnati Bengals defense can't stop a nosebleed. You know, and it's argued that they've gotten exponentially worse since that meeting on Thursday Night Football. I'm actually going to take the Steelers in this one. I think Flacco makes it a game just like last time, but the Steelers come out on top on this one. This one here may come down to whoever has the ball last. So I'm going to take them 30-27.
Interesting. I'm gonna go for a sweep. I actually because I haven't seen enough consistency out of the second wide receiver spot for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So much to the point it's even starting to affect the number one wide receiver spot. Granted, they can still run the football, but they do struggle on defense at times with teams. And if you can have protection or you can get the blitz and beat it down, and also maybe be a little bit bigger and do the mobile thing and hit it, you can get damage on them. Because the biggest difference I've seen between that Colts game and I've seen between this Bengals game is that when the line broke down for the Colts, it was tough sledding for Daniel Jones. He tried to shoot it out, but when I look at that game against Joe Flacco, he hit all his hot reads when he needed to. And so I do think I am going to give it to the Bengals, but I'll have them win this game. You know what? I think it's going to be pretty a nice little shootout and stuff. I'll give them 34-27.
Hmm. And to those who are keeping score at home, if the Steelers drop this one, I believe they fall to 5-5. And if the Ravens win, we got a deadlock tie for first place.
But might elevate us because we are 2-0 in our division. Or
Correct.
1-0 in our division. So we'll see. It's a good AFC North battle. We got them coming up, both of them. So we'll see. We paying attention to this one. Next up, we actually have two teams that actually should not feel bad about themselves, honestly. Now, they may be on different trajectories in terms of where they want to get to go, but the Chargers have a decent squad. They're pretty still much in the thick of things at 6-3. The Jacksonville Jaguars are still in the thick of things as well. They still feel like they're close enough to catch up with the Indianapolis Colts. We don't know. Will they? Will they not? But if there's teams that are considered as up and down, these are it. You know? So, I want to ask you this, Jay. Is Justin Herbert going to cement himself as a quarterback to be reckoned with the rest of these guys this year? And does it start with this game?
Yes, it does, because even though you have Denver leading the AFC West, right behind them are the Chargers. And the Chargers have not won a division since 2009 when it was the old San Diego Chargers when quarterbacked by Phil Rivers. The Jaguars, they may very well still be in shock and disbelief as to what happened this week. It may carry on into this matchup. And I've seen some very questionable comments from the Jaguars head coach about his quarterback. So we could not saying it's going to happen, but we could be seeing the beginning of the Jaguars starting to tilt off that cliff. I'm going to take the Bolts in this one. I'll take the Chargers 28-23. Jags will keep it close. In fact, you know what? It may come down
Yep.
to a late touchdown by the Chargers, but I'm going to take the Chargers 28-23. Who you got?
Where'd he go? Okay, sorry, I'm catching my food or whatever. Yeah, so I didn't know that about the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if that is, that's just kind of par for the course because that team has been a team that reacts too hard so long. But it's like, again, this is like Joe Flacco's career. 6 different offensive coordinators in the span of like, who knows how long. Jaguars just got their coach. Let's see what happens. I am going to take the Chargers in this one. Matter of fact, right here, buddy. Right here, buddy. Matter of fact, I have seen. I think the last time the Chargers won the division is when I actually thought they were going to make the AFC title game when they went 13-3, but then DeRubeis Island came and they couldn't get past him. I believe that's the last time I remember them winning the division. Thank you, sir. They went 12-4.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that was Mark Sanchez's rookie year.
I think so, because that was when Revis Island shut everybody down, including Vincent Jackson, Antonio Gates, and I forgot I think it was either Malcolm Floyd or I don't think Keenan was there at the time, but he might have been. But I think it was Malcolm Floyd and everything. But either way, we got the Chargers winning this game. They need to win this game. So now we'll go on to the next game. We have coming up, we have 2 good teams, 2 MVP caliber quarterbacks, 2 MVP caliber quarterbacks that have had some up and downs in the last couple of weeks. Both teams need the win. More so Buffalo because who they're catching, but there's aspirations for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get a top 2 seed. So they are somebody that is trying to make sure they keep pace with the Detroits and the Philadelphias and potentially the there's them too. So Jay, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Who wins, and if the quarterback does well, will this be a game that helps them increase their MVP candidacy?
Yes, absolutely. This and especially being this late into the season, you have 2 Bills are not a division leader. This is a game that the Bills may need more than the Buccaneers because, well, let's face it. I know it's the NFC South, and someone has to win that division, but it's a 1-team division. You know what I mean? So even if the Bucks drop this game, I don't see them in any real danger in the of not winning the division in the NFC South. But if the Bills drop this game, they are in danger of not winning the division. So I'm going to actually take the Buccaneers in this one. I'll take the Bucks 27-23, and Mayfield gets a much needed bounce back game, and the questions still arise regarding the Buffalo Bills. Go ahead.
Which interesting you next because I think the main reason I'm gonna challenge your point about the Bucks, but I think it's because you don't necessarily think that the Falcons or the Panthers can catch up, but they're only a game and a half or 2 games away from them. So they're still this division, the Bucks can't too much afford, and Carolina's not looking like the most horrible team. Atlanta just played and almost beat the best team in the AFC East, who the Buffalo Bills, who they beat as well. So I think, we're going to see what's up. To that point, though, it's another week. We say it every time. And if you want the proof, please. His name is James Cook. Start the game with him and win this game like you're supposed to. To be honest with you, even with, now granted, the Bucks have had too many injuries right now, and they're still maintaining. But you need to use James Cook. Y'all need to win this game. Period. That's it. That's all. That's all I got to say on that one. James Cook, use him. If not, send him to a team that will consistently and let their record be pretty good.
Right.
Stop making a thing like Josh. Let me go. I'm on my soapbox. Let's go to the next game. Whew, that's a lot one. Okay. Right. This is an interesting tilt. This is a very interesting tilt. We have 2 quarterbacks that both franchises are like turning the corner for. Some of our beloved peoples on this show may not like Caleb Williams, but he is turning the corner.
He is.
And JJ McCarthy, I just seen him. He has the talent. He just has to sometimes realize not make those bonehead plays. But he makes plays with his legs and he makes plays with his arms. And he's got a great group of guys around him. So this is an intriguing matchup for us, man. Who is going to, I think whoever wins can really keep pace with Detroit. More so, the Bears need it more. Who you got? Are the Bears going to keep pace or do the Minnesota Vikings with JJ McCarthy?
Bears
This is
are
the
rolling.
old Rose Bowl showdown between Michigan and USC.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh man, let me see here. Okay, the Bears currently stand at six
Six and
and
three.
three. And let's see who else. Where's everybody else? Hold on a second. We actually have a deadlock tie for first place because Green Bay lost the other night. So Detroit and Chicago are tied for first place uh well, actually technically
You hear
Detroit
that,
has the
Jacob?
technically, Detroit does have the lead better due to a better division record. Detroit's 1-2 in the division. Chicago's 0-2. But this is definitely a game that the Bears need. However, don't ever count out Minnesota because they're good for. I mean, they did go and stun Detroit on the road. You figure, right? But I'm going to take the Bears in this one just because I want to see them succeed. Because it's been long enough for that city. It's been long enough for Chicago. I really like what Caleb Williams is doing. He's coming into his own. It's a slow process, but he's limiting his mistakes. He's making plays, and as of late, he's had 2 straight game-winning drives. People, Bears 24-20. Who you got?
I do think this is a close game, but I got to give it. I think these quarterbacks are gradual. I think every quarterback that the Jackson Darts, the Caleb Williams is, I think your team should feel confident. It's
Mm-hmm.
not building a day, but consider where you were the last couple of years. This is the best you've looked. This is the best you've looked. And I do think I am going to give it to the Bears just because I think they're a little bit more fluid with their offense because JJ McCarthy's been in, he's been out, he's been in, he's been out. And then whereas Caleb's kind of had a flow with him, it's going to be interesting because we know Brian Flores is going to send the packages on him. So we're going to see how he looks at his hot reads, whether it be like Roma Dunze, who he has a good connection with. You don't
Right.
see him using his tight ends like Colston Loveland. I don't know if he's playing, but if he's playing, that might be an option to go to. I am going to give it to the Bears over the Vikings. I'm going to give this game, I'm going to think it kind of really like surprisingly like in the 20s. I'm going to say 20-17
All
Bears.
right. Okay.
Now,
And next
who
game.
we got next? Okay. This actually, again, we take piggyback to the Bucks conversation. These are two teams that have feel confident that they can turn the corner and they are turning the corner in direction. They don't think that they're there, but I do think that they believe that they can compete and get there. So let me ask you this, man. Are we going with Bryce Young, which, 2 years ago, that man was the butt of every joke. That man was the butt of every single joke. I don't
Mm-hmm.
hear no jokes about him now. And then now we go over to Michael Penix. There were questions about him or Kirk Cousins. I don't hear
Mm-hmm.
any questions about that now. So tell
Yeah.
me, who's going to win this game?
Well, I will say this much, and that is regarding that Bills Buccaneers game that we talked about up top. If the Bills win that ball game and Carolina beats the Falcons, guess who is only a half game back of Tampa in the NFC South? This late in the season.
Try to tell
Uh,
you, man, they can't lose too many.
I don't think the Panthers have a letdown game like they did last week because they should have beaten the Saints. I know it's the division rivalry and everything like that, but they should have beaten the Saints. I mean, come on. But I think they do get a bounce back game because the Falcons, and I'll continue to say it, they're the biggest enigma in the league right now. Even, in my opinion, even a bigger enigma than the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, how do you go from, like, you beat the Bills and then you lose to these teams that you know you should have beaten? The Falcons are
They got
what?
crushed by this team.
Yeah, the Falcons are 3-6. It's argued they should be 6-3. So this is the game where the Falcons definitely have to get it together. But I'm actually take the Panthers in this one. I think the Panthers get a bounce back win. It's been a long time since they've actually been in contention this late in the season, and I think they've got their motivation. I'll take the Panthers 20-17.
I'm actually going to go with the Falcons at this one because I believe in their ability to adjust. I don't think they're going to have the same type of game they had against the Carolina Panthers, and they're at home. I like this team at 3-6. I see them as the Derek Carr Raiders when they were 8-8 that year, but they were competitive in every game, beat the Ravens a couple teams. I They have a good connection. This is going to be, I feel like, a really good defensive battle, but I think the quarterback's going to have to make plays. But I think the better skill set guys are on Atlanta's side. And I think Penix, having seen what they're going to try to throw at him, I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. I'll take the Falcons in this one. 30-24.
All right.
So we're going to see what's up with that one because at the end of the day, the NFC South, looking pretty interesting.
Yep.
So now we turn over, and Jay just talked about them, sized them up. We have the Green Bay Packers versus the Jackson Dart-led Giants. The Giants have a 2-7 record, 2-8, one of those things. But they are
28.
fun to watch. And they're not a team, when you look at their 8 losses and you think the record, you watch the game, you're like, wow, they almost had a chance to win this game. Oh, they're not, they can play with these teams. They're actually a pretty rowdy, a pesky bunch out here. Green Bay, they're looking to recover from a loss to the division and I think conference leading Eagles. Do they get this victory against the Giants, or does Jackson Dart surprise the world like he did against the Chargers and beat this team?
Actually, it came out today that apparently Jameis Winston is going to be getting the start on Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. So, with that being said, yes, the Giants have been fun to watch. But
Is
damn,
Jackson
man,
hurt?
they just don't know. Yeah, he still got a concussion. So Winston is starting. But man, the Giants just don't know how to finish games. If they finish those games, like the one against the Cowboys and the Bears and the Broncos, I mean, that's not sitting here saying that they would have a winning record. But when you're in the sport of football, and they'll tell you this at any level, is that you have to finish these games when you have these leads this late, these double-digit leads this late. You have to finish. You got to close the door, and that's been the Giants' problem. Now, this is going to be the first game coached by interim head coach Mike Kafka, the former offensive coordinator, because Brian Dable has been kicked out of the Big Apple. So with that being said, I think the Packers are going to win this one. I think Jameis gives it a good fight, but the Packers, they need this ball game because they were in first place not that long ago, and now they're in third. And the Bears have started to ascend, and then you still got those guys out there in Motown. So I'm actually going to take the Pack in this one because they need it. 27-17, Jordan Love and company bounce back.
To be honest with you, if Jackson Dart was playing, I would see that spread easily change from 7.5 to a 3.5. Because
I
what
agree.
has been a problem for them is mobile quarterbacks. And Jackson is a really good mobile quarterback. They can beat you with the legs. If that pass rush gets to him, he has the ability to step up, and he has the ability to hit his targets. So that does take a wrinkle. Because Jameis is in here, and I do love but I know the defensive line. I am going to take the Packers to cover this spread, and I do think the Packers are going to win pretty comfortably. I can see them winning this game 31-14. I don't
Okay.
think I think there's going to be a couple turnovers by way of Jameis Winston, because one thing he does is he does throw it away or throws it down deep or something, look for somebody if the pass rush collapses on him. Now, we do know Green Bay has a pass rush. We do know that they can get to the quarterback. So I think that's going to play a role, and then they're going to come back and win this game comfortably. If it was Jackson Dart, I promise you my whole idea of this would have been like, you might win this game by 1 or 2 points. This one, I do think they'll win comfortably. Nothing against Jameis. It's just, this is not a good matchup for what he didn't have. If he had neighbors and everybody back, maybe. But we move on. We have coming up, we are
Here we
going
go.
to battle. If we talk about divisions that are also having teams doing good, it's almost a 3-team race in that NFC West.
Yes, it
And the
is.
top 2 teams, one team, let me tell you something. I would love to look at fantasy numbers and sports bet numbers because I'm 100% sure Jackson Smith Enigma is leading in all fantasy categories for wide receivers, and he has to be one of the most bet on receiving yards props in the game.
Mm-hmm.
The way he seems to get hope in when everybody knows he's going to him, it's insane. And Sam Darnold could get to him. And then inversely, we have a probably Matthew Stafford's best season ever. Probably his best season ever, even better than the Super Bowl year to start. They are just on a roll. Puka Nakua's doing his thing. You knew Devontae Adams was a match made. As soon as he got with them, we all said it. That's lit. Here we go. He's leading the league, I think, or top two in terms of receiving touchdowns for wide receivers or overall. We have the Rams 7-2 versus the Seahawks 7-2 at their place. So, Jay, is this going to be a Rams statement, or is Seattle going to tell everybody, I know y'all see my record, and I know y'all are not sure, but hopefully this lets you know to be sure?
Very interesting. This is hard to
Very.
gauge right here because the winner will take sole first place in the NFC West. And actually, looking at the remaining schedule for the Rams, because I think this is the first. Yes, this is the first meeting between them two. They meet up late next month on a Thursday night game. And I would not be shocked if there's a rubber match in the postseason. With that being said, I still have the Rams to win the division, but I'm actually going to take Seattle to win this one. I got them taking it in the Rams' house. I mean, there are only few quarterbacks in the league right now that are playing better ball than Sam Darnold. He is out there proving that last season was not just a fluke. The only thing is can he get, the next, and essentially, this is kind of his revenge because the Rams beat him twice last season, and now he's in the same division as the Rams. So he's got something to prove here. I'm gonna actually take Seattle. I think JSN runs wild. He may get 150 yards receiving, but they stun Rams house, and it's going to be. I'm gonna take Seattle 30, Rams 24. Stafford puts up a great game in a losing effort.
It's interesting because one of the handful of quarterbacks that actually is playing better than him is one he's going against. That's the
Mhm.
ironic thing about this. But this one is a challenge. This one is a toss-up, in my opinion, because I do appear that the Rams look like the better team, and they are probably the better team, in my opinion. I do like what Mike McDonald has going with his team. And the one thing his team has is they know their identity on offense and defense, and they do just enough, and they have an offense that can go against anybody.
Mhm.
I am going to take the Rams. I have them winning this game 38-35. I think we're about to be
Mm.
in for a nice shootout because I think both teams, with the way their offenses are playing, as good as their defenses have been, I just think the offenses are just going to shine out more. But I do think I'll give it to Matthew Stafford and them at home. He throws 4 touchdowns and they win, what's it called? Thirty-eight
Mhm.
35.
Now, before we
Take
move on, you got any prop bets as far as this game? I mean, you have quite a few
I
out
would
there. You got
definitely
Connor Williams, you got Stafford, you got GSN.
I would take Devontae Adams anytime touchdown. I would definitely take Matthew Stafford for 3 touchdowns passing, and I would take Sam Darnold for 2 touchdowns passing, 250 yards passing, and I would give Jackson Smith Enigma. I would take that chance for 100, but I'm gonna leave it at 90. But I
Okay.
do think they're favorable props. And you can look at Kyron Williams and Zachary Charbonnet as anytime touchdowns too, because they are goal line running backs for their squads. Good
All right.
games to have some offensive overs. But we move on to the next game. We have another NFC West showdown between, in my opinion, they are 3-6. But when you watch Arizona, they're a fun 3-6. Last week didn't go so well. I'm not going to say anything, but we just leave it there. So we know. But They placed a divisional opponent. They almost beat them, or did they beat them? I can't remember right now. They played them tough earlier this year. So, second game, they're at home. Now, the 49ers need to keep pace with the Seahawks and the Rams. Do they do that? Or does the Cardinals kind of put a wrench in their plans? Quick question. Do you know if Kyler's playing?
Kyler's on IR.
Oh, okay. There you go. You even more so why that spread is the way it is.
Yes, yes, absolutely. The 49ers, this is good news for the 49ers because, well, the top two teams in the division are playing each other. Someone's got to lose, you know? So with that being said, the Niners have to win this game if they are going to have any aspirations at stealing the NFC West. I don't have them doing so, but I'm just thinking, like how they would think, like, hey, we got the Hawks and the Rams battling out. They got to beat each other up, and we have to take care of our business so we can keep pace and get them. They already split with the Rams. I think they have one more against Seattle. But I'm going to take the Niners in this one. Brissett puts up a hell of an effort, but I got the Niners 23 to 20.
I'll give the Niners as well, and I would rock the same score because I think it's going to be a competitive game. And but I think the Niners need this game. The Niners, despite everything, it does seem like every year the Niners go through the same worst season-ending injuries at the same people's positions. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, gone, but they still maintain and they're still playing. It's next man up, but their defensive coordinator may have a lot to do with that too, because we do know when Robert Saleh was the last time there, their defense was bar none, top 10, top 5, pretty much every single year.
Right.
But I got them to win this game. So now we're going to transition over. We should be
Oh,
moving
this
to the
is you.
game.
This is
I was going
you.
to say, we should be moving to the game that I think it is. So here we go. We have first the Ravens face J.J. McCarthy, and now they get Dylan Gabriel. And they face a Brown squad who, if anyone knows this rivalry, it doesn't matter who looks better. This game could go any direction. They have been trading back wins and trading back big time wins. Last year, the Ravens split with them. One of those games was like gut wrenching. Lo and behold, same destination as it was last time. Cleveland at their place. We know one thing is going to happen. And I say it every single time. Myles Garrett is going to get at least 2 sacks. Definitely getting one, because there is one player that I have literally seen manhandle everybody on that offensive line, and that is Myles Garrett.
Right.
That defense with him there, with the way the Ravens are kind of sputter a little bit and kind of little mess up, can definitely come into play here. Now, I'm going to give it to you to pick, and then I'll come back and pick. But do you see, because you have been like me, you have mentioned this a couple weeks ago, that the Ravens schedule sets up for them to really gain some headway. Do we see them maintaining one game within these Pittsburgh Steelers? Or is Dylan Gabriel going to do what a lot of rookie quarterbacks have done and shock and beat the Ravens?
Uh, this one right here, it's crazy. It would be easy to, pick the Ravens. And for the record, I do pick the Ravens to win. It's something about Raven. We've talked about this before, JJ. It's something about Ravens Browns. The Browns find a way to give them a game sometimes. You know what I mean? We talk about that come from behind victory a couple years ago with Deshaun Watson, among others throughout history. Somehow but with the Browns, it's like, well, of course it could end one or two ways. Either they give them a game and come up short, or they stun them. I just don't foresee that, not with Dylan Gabriel. Not sitting here saying that he isn't good. He is a rookie. He's learning and everything. But the Ravens are pissed off. And they know they can't let those boys from Pittsburgh take their division. I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. Ravens roll 35-13.
First and foremost, shout out to everybody in the comments, Bacon Grizzler, Wyatt joining us, and everybody else here. With that said, we could go down a quick lesson of memory lane with these Ravens and Browns. The game has been won off a blocked field goal that gets returned for a touchdown by Will Hill with the Browns. The Ravens were down 20-0, then get a blocked field goal extra point that gets 2 points that leads them to allow them to come back and beat this team. Then in 2019, the Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb Browns came in and dominated the Ravens, won
Mm-hmm.
43-22. Then last year, the Ravens had five drops that led to them losing this game, which 5 drops, one of them was a touchdown, one of them was the game-sealing interception, and then the other one was a potential first down to lead us to another score. These games have been wonky. These games have been wacky. These games, it's not 2008 to 2016 again. Because back then, it was kind of like we got that one. If they beat us, it would be a shock. But it would be one of those things like, I don't know if that's the Ravens being bad because anything could happen. They'd be shocked. But this one, no. These teams know how to play each other well. I'm going to go with the Ravens, though. I don't necessarily say we need this game because I don't think this division is going to be too spread out lately. But it'd be nice to get this game to get to 500, just so like a fan base could feel good about themselves. Like, gosh, that's all they do is just be upset and everything. But neither here nor there. Now, I do think the Ravens win this game, but I do expect Cleveland's offense to make some plays. I do expect this game to have the Ravens on edge because their defense, let's just say what it is. And it's not necessarily about the personnel, anybody. They just don't have the pass rush anymore. And I will say it again because I said it when it happened last year. Letting Jadeveon Clowney walk really changed the scope of a lot of things on this defense, especially in that front seven. But we got the Ravens to win this game. I'm not taking that spread. Well, you know what? Just because I'm gonna claim we're gonna start this segment. Fan home bias come into play. If you are being biased, just come out and say it. I'm gonna take that spread. Be biased on that one. And I'm gonna take them to win this game 24-18.
All right. Okay. Next game.
Now we move on to the teams that won. Everybody kind of anticipates to be a pretty good matchup at this point. What's different is how the seeding is. It was expected to be Kansas City on top, but Denver trying to make that comeback so we can have the conversation like, is this a chance for them to prove themselves? This is still a chance for them to prove themselves, but despite the loss, this Chiefs team is a team that you do not want to take lightly. They are a team that has a quarterback, that has a weaponry, and that has a tight end that's rejuvenated, and they have a great defense. But the Broncos feeling themselves a little bit. They've had some really good games. Then they've had some games that they won where you kind of look at like, okay, wow, I didn't know that was going to be a 1 or 2 point win. Figured that would have been like a 10 or 15 point win, but we'll take it. Where do you see this going? We're going to Mile High. Mm-hmm. I believe Tony, Jim, and Tracy have the call on this one.
Yeah, Wyatt, who's on the call on this game?
Shout it out for us, please. But Jay, do you have Patrick Mahomes or do you have Mr. Bo Nix?
Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Knicks hype train on this one. I really like how the Broncos are playing ball. I like how the defense is moving. Mind you, they had no PS2. He was out injured, but Bo Nix has really shown out. Really love the quarterback and coach relationship between him and Sean Payton. Of course, I've got this being a little bit closer than how Chiefs Bills was. I'm going to take the Broncos in this one. I think they're going to split the season series because I may take the Chiefs in Arrowhead. But since it's at Mile High, I'm going to take the Broncos in this one. Give me the Broncos 24 to one of those weird scores, 24-19. They hold Mahomes under 100. This game might be a race to 20. It may be a race to 20. So I'm going to say 24-19 Denver.
You know, what's interesting is I actually think this is going to be a pretty electric game. I think the PS2 out is a big deal for me. And it's not that I don't think their defense is good, but I think that leaves an open matchup somewhere. And the one thing I've learned about Mahomes is that he'll find it. And when he finds it, he rides it. And he has his weapons with Rashid Rice, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce. I don't know if Denver's going to have enough. They have to get some turnovers on this team, in my opinion, if they want to win this game. I think they'll get one, but I don't think they're going to get enough. And I have the Chiefs winning this game in a real thriller, 33-28.
All right.
No, 33-27, because I think the Bo Nix and them and Sean Payton is going to have, they're going to go for two. But I
Okay.
got this game to be a very exciting game. It wouldn't surprise me if coming into the fourth quarter, the score is 24-20 Broncos. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, I don't see this as like Chiefs starting on the top and just dominating. I see this as a back and forth, but in the end, the Chiefs flex their muscles and they get it on top 33-27.
All right.
Let's do this.
Sunday night
This is going to be
football.
fun. Sunday Night Football. Mr. J,
Hmm.
let you take it away with this one. I want to hear your thoughts.
All right. So Sunday, it's too bad we don't have those other two guys on right now because
Man,
I would have loved to have seen the one-on-one on that one. But we've got
just sit back with the
Lions.
popcorn.
Lions favored by 2.5. Hold on a second. Let me double check that real quick. Hold on, cause I'm seeing Sunday football. Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, reverse that. The Eagles are actually favored by 2.5. Although I will say that if it was at Detroit, Detroit would probably be favored. Okay, I just made the correction. The Eagles are favored by 2.5. Um, this we said what last year this could be the NFC Championship game preview. I still think the same with this one. This could be an NFC Championship game preview. That's if those guys out in LA and those guys out in Seattle don't have anything to say about it. The Lions,
Right.
they are back in first place in the NFC North, and they need to keep it that way. They desperately need to keep it that way because they still got to see Green Bay on Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken, and they still got to see the Bears one more time in Chicago. Now the Eagles, and you know it's hard to repeat, it's hard to get back, but it's going to be an electric Lincoln Financial Field for Lions Eagles. Jalen Hurts is who was my perennial offensive player of the year pick. Him. Now I know there's been some rumblings once again with AJ Brown and everything like that. But so it's weird because it's like, the more you hear about them, the more they keep on winning. It's crazy. There has to be some sort of like controversy going on around them, and they're still putting up wins, man. They're like the weirdest team. But I'll take the Lions. No, not the Lions. I'll take. Man, this is hard. I wish I had a coin around me. You know what? Because if this was in Motown, I would have taken the Lions, but I'm gonna take the Eagles in this one. I'll take the Eagles 30-27. Jake Elliott walks it off for the Eagles.
So interesting we talking about this, and I know we got, we ain't got but 8 minutes left. We got only one more game after this one, so we have a little bit of time on this one. Yes, I don't, AJ Brown, call it what you want or whatever, but I think this is one of those things that's regardless of the outcome, when it's Super Bowl or not, I do think we see AJ Brown eventually be moving on into a different direction either this year or next year. Just because, I only say wait the next year is because I want to see if it's a new offense, new offensive coordinator, kind of same concept, but still new offensive coordinator language. Is he going to give it the luxury to wait just a year before he feels like he's going to get it going? Or, where is it? At the end of the day, I think maybe I'm leaning towards the benefit of the doubt that maybe he's just letting them know he care about y'all. Let it just drop him. But it doesn't mean there isn't a chance for him to get it. Because what we do know about this game is despite whatever goes on, whatever rumors and everything you have, if you're the only open receiver, goddamn, you throwing it. And if he's there, there's a chance he can get it. Now to the game. I'm going to give it to Dan Campbell in this one. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions in this one because I think Dan Campbell understands. I think one thing I know Dan Campbell, he respects everyone and he respects his quality opponents like he did the Ravens, he has done the Texans, and he's looking at the Eagles. I think we see not only them, the players see their abilities. I also think we see Dan Campbell's ability to go against Nick Sirianni and his squad because Dan Campbell takes care of the offense. So I like this game. I like this matchup. I am going to take the Lions to win this in a upset. This is going to be a very fun game. This is going to be very, very fun game. I'm going to take the Lions in this one. I'll give them the game 41-38.
Ooh, you got it high scoring. Okay.
I think it's going to be a fun game because I think the one thing that both of these teams can do that makes them, no matter whatever defense they face, be a problem is they can block. They can block. If you can block, Jalen can get anybody. You can't cover them forever, and they got too talented to not be anything. They both can block. So at the end of the day, I think that's going to yield to a lot of points.
All
So
right.
now
Last
we
game.
move on to our last game. Oh, wow. Wyatt, you're on break this week. Go ahead, my friend. Enjoy it. Now, we have the Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders. Ironically, if this was the 70s, this would be one of the probably the game of the year if this was the 70s. Matter of fact, even as well, if this was the 90s a little bit, you would have had a great game. It still could be, but the teams don't have the same pizzazz as they used to. There's so much going on with all these squads. The Cowboys, we don't have to go through that. I feel like it's going through ad nauseum. It's kind of annoying now. And then the Raiders, listen, let Pete work. Just leave it there. Now, Jay, you be clowning both of these squads. Take your pick.
You know, I will go as far as saying it's this late in the season. And if it's any must win game for the Dallas Cowboys, it's this game. One, because you're 3-5-1 this late in the season. And number two, it's the 2-win Las Vegas Raiders. I want people to mark my word on this one. And everybody in the panel, if you disagree, call everybody in the comments. If you disagree, call me out. If you agree, cool. You heard it here first. If the Dallas Cowboys drop this game, their season is over. It's over with. There is no coming back. I don't care who you face, who you beat, or whatever. It is done. You can't be 3-5-1 this late and then lose to the Raiders of all teams. So with that being said, this game is actually more about the Cowboys than the Raiders because we know the Raiders are out of it. That's it,
Yep.
But
Yep.
the Cowboys, they still have a thread of hope. They let Micah Parsons walk. They've had some questionable games that they should have won this season. It's been an enigma. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to take them in this game 30-21, but one more again. Mark my words. If the Cowboys let this one slip, it's a wrap.
The problem
Drop
is
the curtains.
The problem is, it honestly might even be a wrap now where I might have to take an L on my wild card Cowboys because three teams are 6-3 or above. No, in the AFC West. Two teams are both 6 wins or no, three teams are both 6 wins or above in the NFC North. There is no room for error. There is no room for even a loss, to be honest with you. There is no room. So their season is unfortunate at the blink of the blink. They really need some help to do this. So every game, in my opinion, is a must win just to even have hope. I'm going to take them in this one because I do think the Raiders are not there. They'll get there. But I'm going to take them in this one. I do think that Dak and them are going to have a bounce back game. I think CeeDee Lamb is about to have a good game again. And I do think Jake Ferguson will get an anytime touchdown because he is a red zone target for them that if get him going, the offense looks good as well with everybody else with Pickens and Mr. CeeDee Lamb. But we made it just in time, 2 minutes. All right, make it quick. 1 minute for your thoughts, sir. And then
we go.
And then we go.
Yeah, I would. Well, with that being said, I think this is it. Everybody in the comments, thank you for tuning in. Shout out to Wyatt. Long time no see. Appreciate you coming through. Of course, Bacon Grizz. Shout out to Stingray and everybody. We will be live on for the Gauntlet this Friday as usual. James will be back. Dom will be back. And we're also going to see if Ken's going to join the panel. Tune into his show, the Ken's Pet Show. The Patriots are rolling. I'm sure he's had a lot to say about his team. So go and check them out. Also, check us out, Sideline Sports Show. We had a great episode just last night. We addressed Dave working with the veterans, a little suicide prevention and everything like that. Also, check out Top Rope Talk. Let's see, Confidentials in the off season, and we've got the Sports Insiders on Thursdays as well.
There you go, guys. Thanks for coming in, guys. Jay, beautiful closeout, man. I do hope everybody has a great rest of your night. I'm gonna be knocking out probably the next hour.
Later.
Later.